What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and in this video I just thought it'd be important to talk about all the new announcements involving Season 2 Chapter 11 and 12. I mean, these updates, they're just really incredible and I'm glad they're sharing with us. In the background it's my Daily 5 uncut from yesterday, and by the way I was thinking about possibly doing a series, a weekly one, where I took my Daily 5 wins, losses and all if there are any, and then I just post that up, but it would be really consistent. So if I start doing that on, say, a Tuesday, every Tuesday you can expect my battles to be shown. Absolutely uncut. So yeah, that's just something I was thinking about. Let me know if you'd enjoy that, if you think it's a good idea. That's a weekly series I could definitely keep up with. But as for the news, there is a big article I want to discuss, and we'll link that as well in the description below. But before that, there was some news on Twitter as well. So let's get into that first. Now, at MAA Insiders posted, "Let's play a game, match the hero in the next tweet with their new EISO." So they mentioned Kamala, Cap Marvel, Drax, Cammy, Squirrel Girl, Ant-Man, A-Bomb, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, and Beetle. So after that, they gave us a list of the names of the new EISO coming out. And that's chittering, charging, bouncing, planning, growing, ruthless, deflecting, provoking, aiding, and resourceful. Alright, so some of them were fairly easy to match up, others not as much. But we didn't have to wait too long to get the official answers. This section is pretty much going to block the screen here, but we'll try to do that in between matches. However, we do want to read through them, so it is going to cut into the next match. Okay, so Kamala got the bouncing, and it says gains protect and chance to counterattacks against non-energy attacks. Also, counterattack gains knockout punch. I'll tell you what I think about them after we read through them all. So next is Captain Marvel, the charging EISO 8. Starts combat with 3 stored energy, and high chance to counterattacks against allies, while Kree speed is active. Drax is going to get the Ruthless EISO. Gains Oblivion and Haste when health drops below 50%. Then there's Resourceful for Cammy, chance to gain an extra turn when attacked. Chance increases as health decreases. Squirrel Girl of course got Chittering, and it says random chance for squirrels to attack. Ant-Man then gets Growing. Gains additional attacks added to Break-In and Pint-Size Surprise. Next, A-Bomb got Provoking. Gains a full stack of Hulk Up when a stack of Carapace is removed. Then Misty Knight got Aiding, chance to call the heroes for hire, able to summon Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Colleen Wing, or Jessica Jones. After that, Colleen Wing got Deflecting, prevents and counter exploit attacks against allies with less than 60% health remaining. And lastly, Beetle gets Planning. If Beetle is not attacked and hit in a round, the cooldown on the playbook is reset, and battle preparation gains an increased chance. Okay, so there they are, so now my thoughts on them. Well, Kamala needed all she can get. But to be honest with you, is this going to make her viable? I highly doubt it. She is just not a great character. Captain Marvel is pretty decent though, and she's going to start with 3 stacks of stored energy, which increases damage by 20% for each stack. So a 60% damage boost. Basically, she's going to hit extremely hard right out of the gate. And on top of that, she has a high chance to counterattacks against allies, while Kree speed is active. So a very solid EISO there. Next for Drax, Oblivion and Haste when his health drops below 50%. Well, Oblivion was actually on Black Dwarf, and it says immune to harmful debuffs. That's pretty phenomenal in itself, but you probably are familiar with Haste. It means taking 2 actions every turn. This should turn Drax into quite a juggernaut. Seriously, he's going to be a beast. I like this EISO a lot. After that, we had Resourceful for Cammy, chance to gain an extra turn when attacked. Extra turns are always great, and the chance does increase as her health decreases. So yeah, it's going to be helpful. We'll take it. I'm just not a huge fan of Cammy. As far as Squirrel Girl's Chittering, the random chance for squirrels to attack. Not really sure what that means or when it's going to proc. Is it really going to be better than some of the amazing E-ISO we already have? I'm kind of doubting it. But still, it should be pretty funny at least. Who knows though, maybe they'll have different attacks that apply different debuffs and so on. That is very possible. For Ant-Man, I already have some pretty specific E-ISO I like to use on him, but he'll gain additional attacks from Break-In and Pint-Sized Surprise. This could definitely increase the damage, and I already love Pint-Sized Surprise, so I'm very interested in getting this. After that, A-Bomb's going to gain a full stack of Hulk Up when a stack of Carapace is removed. A decent trade-off, I don't mind him getting that for sure. I kinda wish it had something else, even if something small. But we'll check it out. Then Misty Knight has the chance to call in the Heroes for Hire. Now this should be pretty awesome. Once again, it's going to depend on proc rates, but I'm sure it'll happen pretty often. And other than that, calling in any of these heroes will be a welcome thing. I definitely need to get this one. After that, Calling Wing prevents and counters exploit attacks against allies with less than 60% health remaining. This could be incredible, as long as that prevent works. Preventing attacks is one of the most annoying things to be hit with, and one of the greatest things for you to get. Finally, Beetle has Planning. If Beetle is not attacked and hit in the round, the cooldown on the playbook is reset and battle preparation gains an increased chance. The playbook is a quick action that causes disadvantage to all enemies. It gives all allies combat awareness and herself part of the plan. Next attack gains exploit opportunity. Then battle preparation says chance to follow up on single target attacks and chance to follow up on an ally's single target attack. So everything about this E-ISO is awesome. That is honestly though only the tip of the iceberg as far as news. Today an awesome article was posted over on Marvel.com, once again by Ben Morse. So make sure you go and check it out. But we're going to talk about some of that article right here. There's going to be a lot of story advances involving the Serpent and Odin and so on. But when it comes to the worthy in the next chapter, we know it's going to be Mok and Greythoth. I'm not even sure how to say it, but the Breaker of Wills, aka Ghost Rider. Now Mok the Breaker of Faith, aka the Black Knight, is going to have a few new status effects. Desecrated, Treacherous Tactics, and Damnation. Desecrated removes and prevents resurrection effects, prevents most healing effects, and removes a large amount of health when it's removed, like Doom. The attack also targets all enemies. So pretty sick. Treacherous Tactics is a 2-round team buff that makes melee attacks apply internal bleeding, plus gains hemorrhaging. The buff will also greatly reduce damage taken from enemy attacks. So as we figured, Black Knight's going to be so annoying when you see him as Mok. The last status effect though, Damnation, causes Desecrated to immediately trigger, but it does prevent Desecrated from being applied for 1 round. I'm sure we're going to be talking about some serious damage from that removal. So Mok is going to be pretty scary. As for Ghost Rider, the Breaker of Wills, he's going to have a passive that gives him a chance to preemptively counter with Cower and Agony. That is just absurd. I love it. Remember, Agony is like the cooler, hipper Paradise Lost, and Manipulated and so on. And then Cower, we know how annoying Cower is, coming from Kurth. So he gets that as a preemptive counter. In addition to that, he halves the damage from any non-hallowed attacks. Now his Damnation Chains attack, now called the Chains of Greythoth, has had Dark Forces and Malignant Poison added to it. And his second action is called Are You Worthy? It does increased damage with a new Serpent Scrutiny property to those deemed not worthy. Weakened, Pyrophoric, and Intimidated have been added to his third attack, Feel the Burn, and Broken Will to his fourth attack, Will Breaker. So once again, the worthy do not look like they're going to disappoint. We should be seeing them a lot in PvP. As always, I'll try to get them as soon as I can and show them in videos. Now after that, it talks more about the story, but what was really unexpected was, they said just wait until you see Chapter 12 later this month. So 2 chapters in the same month? That just sounds crazy. It's going to be a lot of work for me, and for everyone playing, but that should be pretty incredible. Definitely a lot of videos to come. So then after that, they go on to talk about what new heroes and villains will debut in this chapter. And they said this is finally where you get to punch Carl Borson, the Serpent, in the face. He's immune to interrupts and fear-based statuses. Several of his attacks apply fear, which can be applied 5 times, and it's basically going to equal up to a 50% chance for your attacks to fail while you cower in fear. And yeah, he has a really sick internal bleeding application as well. We figured he was going to be tough, that completely makes sense. But really epic news, and I do mean epic, is they said who takes the center stage for good guys during this chapter. And Tony answered, in this chapter 5 of 6 missions have epic bosses. 5 of 6. There's going to be Epic Mach in Mission 1, Epic Man-Ape in Mission 2, Epic Greythoth in Mission 3, Epic Carl Borson in Mission 5, and Epic Mandarin in Mission 6. That's going to make for some really amazing weapons, gadgets, and so on, I'm sure. And then for the heroics, well, we heard about their EISO, so now the actual battles. Kamala Khan and Captain Marvel vs. X-Ray and Ironclad. After that, in Mission 2, we have Drax and Cammy versus Black Dwarf and Proxima Midnight. That should be a pretty interesting fight. Maybe a little challenging. In Mission 3, we just have Squirrel Girl versus Targets. So I'm not sure exactly what that one means. Following that, we have A-Bomb versus Abomination. And by the way, that was Mission 5. They skipped Mission 4 because, well, it's got a pretty big write-up. But Mission 6 is going to have Misty Knight and Colleen Wing versus the Beetle and Madja. This one basically is going to have 3 EISO then, 1 for the Beetle in it. So I should be farming Mission 6 for quite a while, that means. But as for Mission 4, it's going to be the first time they've introduced a new villain in a heroic battle. It's going to be Ant-Man versus Yellow Jacket and Crossfire. Ant-Man's apparently going to get some new moves through his EISO growing, which is based off what's seen in Captain America Civil War. So that sounds awesome. The fight's going to start with Ant-Man fighting some grunts for the first wave. In the second wave, when Crossfire appears, Ant-Man performs an attack with either the Stealthy or Ants properties. Crossfire will counter him, which is a huge pain in the ants since every single one of his moves has one of these 2 properties. So this is when Hank Pym steps in, and he guides him to learning how to use his new growth attacks. Yeah, this one sounds pretty epic. I can't wait for it. So that's going to be in Mission 4. Now, of course, with the new chapter release and all these heroics coming out, I will have a guide on each one of them as soon as I possibly can. So make sure you tune in for those. I fully expect this to come out tomorrow. I may be wrong, maybe it'll come out today, or maybe early next week. But if they're planning chapter 12 as well, and they've already given us all this information, it's definitely coming out very soon. So my guess would be this week. Like I said, I'll try to get done with my videos as fast as I can involving everything in these new chapters. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure to hit that button. Let me know how excited you are for all this information. Let me know what your favorite bit of news was. Or just tell me how you're doing in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. As for this video, we are coming to the end, but we're going to do our roulette spin. As we get into that, it's probably not going to be anything too exciting. So my favorite thing, of course, is the Worthy. I don't know if I'm more excited about Mach or Greythoth. I definitely love Mach's look more. But Ghost Rider's one of my favorite characters, and he sounds impressive as well. So yeah, that's what I can't wait for as far as the announcements, but everything's going to be awesome, I'm sure. That is going to bring us to the end of this one though, so I do want to thank you all for watching. Ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.